I had been going to Reynolda for a period of time, and I was having some ongoing health issues that were leading to some emotional issues. So I went for prayer, and I have to say it was about the first time I felt that I was actually brought into the presence of the Holy Spirit. During prayer, it was unhurried, I felt understood, and it was the beginning of realizing that I needed deeper prayer in that area. I feel that since I've received healing and hope, a burden has been lifted. I feel more free. I feel that the light's been turned on now.
Every week I get to hear the gospel message, and it just has changed my life to be a life that is just full of joy. God healed me of stage 4 cancer, and God has just knit me together in this body with, it's just like a family for me, and I get to come here week after week and just love others and be loved upon.
In 2013, I was involved in an Alzheimer's research study. As part of the study, they did an MRI of the brain, and my MRI revealed a brain tumor. They said, in fact, it was so slow growing that I probably could wait maybe even 4 years before it would grow large enough to require surgery. The tumor turned out to be much larger than the doctors expected, and it was less than 1 millimeter from my optic nerve. But when I woke up, I felt fantastic. I had no pain. I was grateful, relieved, and full of joy.
2012, I cooked out and I couldn't feel the fire with my left hand. I got a phone call saying, I need you to go see a neurologist. His name is Dr. Krull. We went in, saw him. I walk in, and the first question I asked him was, when can I go back to work? He looked at me, grabs me by the shoulders, and he says, Tom, I don't think you have to worry about working anymore. He said, you're going to worry about living. He said, I would say you're going to be dead within 30 days.
The doctors had told us that they could not guarantee that they could wrap that spinal cord together. And so they were preparing for us for paraplegic and everything else. And I'm like, no, and so Tom and I were preparing. And we had made a plan that he was going to be back. And it happened. God wrapped that spinal cord with the doctor's help.
I have been cancer-free for 11 years now, and that all started with being here at Reynolda and Pastor Allen laying hands on me, and within a week my tumor was gone. And that's my breast cancer story and how Reynolda completely changed my life from that incident.
Why did God have us come to this church versus any other? Well, it wasn't until the fall of 1999, when I began to have back trouble, that I really began to see what it was that God had in mind. By December, I was diagnosed with a 5.5-inch tumor in my chest. It wasn't until I was laying in that hospital bed, my first 5 days in the hospital, that dawned on me, Dan, you've been called to Reynolda to receive the healing ministry. That's the calling upon this congregation. And it was one of those epiphany experiences in which I realized, Eureka, I finally know why I'm going to this church that seems to be such an odd fit for me. Even though I was involved in ministry and doing a lot of things with it, but it was at that moment in time that God said, you are here for this purpose, to receive what I have for you. And since then, now, having received that ministry, God has kind of opened up opportunities of blessing for me to be involved in our children's ministry and in other aspects of the leadership of our church, and I've been very appreciative of that. I look forward to the role that Reynolda is going to play for the healing ministry this congregation has been called to in Winston-Salem and the Triad area. I think it'll be exciting to be a part of that as we look to grow and